back. We are back. And I just came back from a run. I went for a run. Pozdrav, kako je? Šta se događa? Oh man. Let me lift this up a fraction like that. All right. Oh man. What's going on, everyone? I just went for a run, I was just saying before. And wanted to warm up using a run. And I ran 1,200 meters. And now I've got jelly legs. And today I thought I wanted to do 220 deadlift for at least 3 sets of 5. But I don't know if I've just screwed myself up. Jelly legs all over. It wasn't a quick run or anything, I just kind of jogged. You know what I mean? But now I feel great. I feel really, really loose and fantastic, but jelly. Tutu, what's happening, man? Family's doing well. Everyone's good. Everyone's happy. Everyone's doing good, man. How are you, man? How are you doing? If it was summer, I might be able to do it, but not in winter, man. It's freezing out here, dude. Shoes are not coming off. Too cold, man. You love feet, you say. I see. You're going from a different angle. It's been very interesting to balance tree. Congratulations, man. First son. Yeah, it's a big change, isn't it? It's a big life change for sure, man. Like, you're gonna have to cut some things off for sure, and keep only the necessary elements of your life. You won't be able to, juggle the same stuff you were juggling before. You need to make some decisions, and everyone's gonna have to make their own decisions. If one of your decisions is to cut the gym, so be it. I don't think that's the right decision. A lot of people do make that decision. They still try and keep 100 different friends, 100 different social commitments, while having the baby and starting a family and the rest of it. And oftentimes the gym falls out. This is why you see people in their mid-30s and 40s and 50s and on beyond get fluffy, get fat even, get obese even. It's because a lot of people make those decisions. And for those people that say, "Oh, I didn't have time," no, I don't buy that. You've made some decisions. You've decided to keep, 100 different friends going. Every night's a friend night, and the gym's fallen off. It's just not that high on your priority list. Which, for whatever reason, you've done that. I just think you need to do something for your health. And gymming or basketball or soccer, there's got to be something, man. Like, you're not a kid anymore, so the kilos are going to pile on if you don't do something. Oh, jeez, man. Proper jelly legs, man. One little run and I'm jelly now. Where's that water? All right, let's do this front squat. And then we're loading up 220 on the deadlift, fellas. And I'm gonna try a set of 5, and then another set of 5, and hopefully another set of 5. See what I can do. That's the plan. There's a good carryover from front squats to high bar. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I think front squats are a great tool. Front squats is one of those things that is very unforgiving. So if you're a leaner in the squat, you get punished, and you get punished very quickly. So it's very good for the quads. I don't think there's any other better exercise for thoracic extension than front squat. And I get reminded of that every time I do it, especially when I have a time off them. I come back, man, the DOMs and the traps and the upper back is insane. So upper back, destruction, quads, definitely. And just integrity of the core. All of that gets put on notice with the front squat. It's an excellent movement. I've always been a fan, and it's about the only freaking exercise that actually, in my opinion, feels like a squat should feel. For me, when I put it on my back, it's some sort of a blend between a bloody deadlift and a squat. Like, there's a lot of lean. I don't feel in my quads, Front squats definitely feel in my quads. That's for sure. All right. $150 now. Let's see if I can really warm up nicely. All day I've been thinking about this deadlift workout. How it's gonna feel. That first set, I've been thinking about it all day. I've had a day off work today, you know. Went to a birthday party. You know, 5th birthday party. Kids everywhere, playing with the kiddies, and back in my mind I'm thinking about the deadlift session coming up. Sam, what's up, man? Greg, what's going on, Greg? Ivan, broke my 10 rep max squat and 10 rep max deadlift yesterday in the same session, which rarely ever happens. Whoa, man, which one went first? I'm guessing the squat. That's impressive, man. You must have been doing some good quality work in lead up to that, for sure. Sam, what's going on, man? My upper back feels great. Oh, definitely, Sam. I agree with you there. 22 says, good stuff, man. I got squat rack and enough of weights for now, and it actually feels to squat and deadlift more often. Nice. Feza, sounds good. Yeah, just started. Then to help my leaning. Just got to work on that front rack position. Oh yeah, don't worry about that, man. That will come. Just increase the frequency, very high frequency of front squatting. Oh God, what have I done with the microphone? High frequency on the front squat. Plenty of work on it, plenty of practice, and it will come. The wrists will let go, the forearms will let go, the collarbone will stop hurting. Trust me, you know, everyone that's ever front squatted understands this. Don't think you're not gonna get there. You will. You just have to practice it often. It's a skill. Practice it. You'll come. All right, 150. All right, let me do 170. Fuck it. Try 170. Really warm up that core. And then deadlift time. Something that I'm going to do now, you guys will see, probably doesn't get a lot of attention when I'm doing my normal videos. I know some of you guys don't like lives, but I tend to fall in love with them right now. I just love the conversation, love the idea sharing, but something that never really makes the videos is the prep work that I do for deadlifts. You know, I've done now a couple of sessions of deadlifts, probably more than that, maybe 3-4 sessions in the last 2 weeks, something like that. Maybe even more, maybe up to 5 sessions. I did a few sessions with sets of 30. Then I did a session with, I think 140, 150, and then 180, then 200, yeah, and now 220. When I do a lot of pulling, I get this sensation in my groin like I'm gonna get a hernia. And over the years, I've done many different things to address that. But one of the things that I love to do is side bends. It really activates that transverse abdominis, that oblique, which really fires up that part of the abs, and it makes you feel really good in the deadlift. And so everything that you see me do, there is an exercise leading up to something, right? So the lateral raises for the bench press. I tried multiple different exercises for the lateral hip, you know, the fire hydrants, the seated, the standing leg, side leg raises. Today I went for a run. It's all kind of that unilateral work. That's for the squatting portion of it. And then for the deadlift, I've not done much, but now that I'm getting into the heavier stuff, there needs to be something done for the core to wake up. And that side stuff, once again, comes into effect, and I'll be doing side bends. And I've done some crazy things with side bends in the past, which maybe did or did not make the videos. I'm not sure. I've gone up very heavy, but today I'll just do a 20 kilo plate, I think, for 20 reps or something like that, just to fire up, and then we'll get into the deadlifts. Now, I don't know if this is too heavy now for front squats for me. with these jelly legs, but let me unrack this, feel a little bit, and then we'll go from there. Might be too heavy, my jelly legs. Let's have a look. Yeah, too heavy. Very heavy. Oh my God, my knees are gonna collapse underneath me. Maybe 200 on the deadlift won't be a good idea today. Maybe it won't be a good idea. Oh, let us see, eh? Yeah, I'll leave this lever here. All right. Then unrack this now. All right. 150. Alrighty. Need a 20 kilo plate now with a handle. This will do. Alrighty. Now stand here and just bend a little bit. Yeah, broke the squat one first at 184 and then deadlift at 225. Haven't been this stacked physically, mentally, emotionally. Oh, dude, I bet, Greg, those are some crazy numbers, man. Holy shit. I'm just thinking about my 180 for 13 days to then load up a fucking 225 deadlift and pull that shit 10 times. Fucking hell. That is a hell of an effort, man. Well done. That shit ain't easy. Damn. Just out of interest, man, what is your 1 rep, 1 RM in the deadlift? Really intrigued to know what sort of percentages did you wrestle there with? Awesome, man. Will defs keep up with the front squats? Keep having Greg says, loving the lives, Vine, even if I can't make it to all of them. Love having the ability to communicate in real time with someone I've followed for years. Greg, I feel the same way, man. I think this is so much more quality. I definitely feel a lot of, what's the word, man? It's very rewarding for me. I'm not just making videos into an abyss and then I read comments from people. It's actually, I feel like it's a real conversation, and that to me means a lot, man. You know, as creators, as people that are, you know, making content all the time, it can be a lonely endeavor in the sense that you can't really, you know, mesh with the people that are supporting you. It's kind of hard, but I feel like this is one of the best tools for it. Really, really makes sense to me. Now, where am I? Sam says, I just read its date, 2028. That's incredible streak. Yes, all good. Hey, Destitute is here. What's up, man? What's going on, brother? How does the lightest squat day look like? Ooh, well, it was a 60 kilo SSB squat for 30 reps. That's what all of them look like. Do you still do things for abductors, targeting things? Yes, definitely. Still do all that stuff. Do you still do the, yep. Ken says, hi mate, just joining the stream. Do you do any mobility work before front squats for better front rack? Nah, man. It's a very high frequency thing for me, man. When I'm in front squat mode, I'll do front squats basically every day. So all the mobility kind of gets better as you go along. You know what I mean? All right. A couple of these sets just to warm up the belly. Oh, shit. Do a few more of those sets because what I'm basically prepping for is a very heavy deadlift day. You know, 200 kind of felt doable. 180 definitely felt doable. All that stuff is just very lightweight. But now that I'm getting to 220, I don't think I've ever done 220 for a set of 5. Never really done reps on deadlifts, even though I have top end strength. And even when I'm pushing the top end strength, like actively pushing it, there's a whole host of things that I do, which probably never meets the camera. You know, because the videos kind of take a tangent. Sometimes I don't even talk about what I'm actually doing. I'm just venting my mind in whatever direction I want. So a lot of stuff doesn't really make the video, but there's a few things in my mind that I have. Like say I want to push a squat and I'm, you know, trying to get to 1 rep max. There's a bunch of things that I do to prep the body. It's not just squats. Fucking hell, I wish it was like that, but it's not. So for the deadlift, there's a whole host of things that I've learned over the years that have worked really well for me to feel strong and to kind of enhance my ability to push through the weaknesses that I have, mainly off the floor. The core, because when I start deadlifting, like if this is my femur and this is like my upper back, my back, you know, for people that are, you know, really long armed, they kind of start with a much more open hip, and some of them even bend their backs like this, right? For me, when I deadlift, because of my leverages, I need to kind of like start with damn near horizontal back. So my angle at the hip is much more acute, and so with that comes a lot more strain to the lower back, and obviously equally, when you have strain in your lower back, you have strain in the abdominals, the front part of the back, if you want to call it, the lumbar spine anterior, which is known as the core. And so if I'm doing heaps and heaps of work, like I remember back in the day when I did a lot of rack pulls, I started to feel that groin sensation like I'm going to bloody blow a gasket, hernia. I know that when I'm really pushing hip extension, I really need to take care of that anterior wall. Otherwise, I might get a hernia, you know. And being in the medical industry, I know the signs and symptoms and what that is and how to prevent it. And so in my mind, I'm like, okay, cool. Let's not go down that path and freaking it up with the surgery. Let's reinforce the front. That's kind of where the weakest link is. And so then I do work for that. And there's many different things you can do for the front of the core. And I've definitely put a lot of them on blast, you know, to test some of these theories. And I've come up with certain things that work for me. Even though this shit that I'm doing right now doesn't seem like it's anything, it actually works really well. No, it is not a primary movement, but it just activates the core in a specific way, which allows the core to feel tougher for me when I start pulling. So this is a lot of times an activation exercise for me, these side bends. The transverse abdominis, the internal and external obliques really kind of get put on the map, and that enhances that intra-abdominal pressure for me and keeps my lower back better, and in turn I feel stronger off the floor. So it's weird how it's not the primary thing that's causing the thing, but without this thing that I'm doing, then the supporting structures which allow the primary thing to do its thing can't support the primary thing, if that makes any sense, right? So it's kind of like this, it doesn't get celebrated, you know. It's the freaking, you know, it's the guy that sits in the corner in the NBA team and makes space for LeBron James. Sure, he's not a star, you know, that everyone's going to celebrate, but he's a sniper. And you got to respect that range. And so someone's always got to be on him, chest level, you know, arm away from chest. Because if you give him a little bit of daylight, it's a 3. And so that man is stuck to him, opens up LeBron James lane so he can go and dunk it on people, right? So that's what I feel like this shit is. It is literally a James Jones, a Brett Barry, a freaking, I'm just thinking of names. It's like the Iguodala, it's the Bruce Bowen, it's the, you name it, whatever. James Posey, who else am I thinking? Jason Terry, who are these space creator guys? Carl Corvers, Ray Allen for Miami, Ray Allen for Boston. It's these type of characters that you must have a body on. Because if you step away from that dude, it's a 3. And that hurts a lot. So even though LeBron James is the one that's beating you, you still got to respect that guy in the corner. And that's what this shit is for me. You got to respect these muscles that are not celebrated, and they're not going to win you a show, let's say. But without them, the glutes, the hamstrings, the quads, the upper back, they ain't doing shit without this. As soon as I get those muscles, these weird freaking core muscles activated, see, right now I feel strong, I feel explosive, and I've done nothing other than just activate these little fuckers on the side. And so now that bar, when I look at a 220, I'm like, I'm not only gonna move that shit, I'm gonna yank that shit. And they're yanking that manhandling, that explosive strength, that has to come from the big muscles, right? But what transfers that power from those big muscles into the bar? It's the core. That's the bleeder effect. If you don't have a strong core, dude, it's basically a car with stupid amount of horsepower. Let's say 700, 800, 900 horsepower with a shitty gearbox that slips and just doesn't bite. And not only that, but you have a clutch that's just fucking shit. And not only that, but like the tires are crap and you're spinning. So you are maybe putting down 20% of that power onto the road, which is shit house, right? And so in racing, The car with the biggest power might not be the quickest. For people that are pea-brained, peanut-brained, they have very, very small, shallow thinking. They're going to be like, oh yeah, the car with big power is going to win. No, man. It's actually the car that maintains the highest average speed on the track that's going to win. And if you lose too much speed through the corners, man, you're not going to do shit. So, yeah, that's kind of how I think about this stuff. It's not on the menu all the time for me, because sometimes I'm like, my primary muscles are not doing the job that they have to in order for me to kind of do this. And so it takes a long, long time to kind of make that engine strong. And I've always felt like the core is always kind of just needs a bit of activation, then you're good. You don't need to build the core for 20 years. I always felt that way. As long as you're doing the compound movements regularly and you're kind of attacking it, you'll be all right. But then when you want to display maximum strength, you must activate. And that's kind of what I think about. I missed a bunch of stuff here. I'll go from the bottom. Lemon, what's up, man? What's up, Ivan? That 210 yesterday was better. Thank you, man. Yeah, I mean, I didn't plan it. It just felt good and 210 started becoming a possibility yesterday. I probably could have gone a bit heavier for sure, which is really good. Good signs. Be what's up, man? Guna, Ivan, my brother, looking strong. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Ivan, I'm also seeing, Greg says, in real time how focusing purely on my 10 rep maxes for all lifts, I feel so much stronger, and know all my ones are probably at least 50 kg stronger after these 3 years. There you go. Nah, man, the rep work, man, I am so freaking sold on this shit. I mean, like always, I might be wrong, but when I feel something really strong, I share it with you guys. Straight away, I'm like, man, there's something special about this, and it's been many times over, and I just share it immediately. And it's been many multiple episodes of this in the 5 years that I've felt this way about high reps, and not just on squats, bench press now as well. It's just undeniable. That's set number 4. All right, I'll do one more of those sets, and then we'll turn up the deadlift to 220 and start yanking it. Greg, so 3 years ago, my max deadlift for 1 rep was 250, but as of right now, my heaviest ever deadlift set has, Jesus Christ, what is wrong with my phone? Set has now been 250 for 6 reps. I haven't done a single for any lift in over 3 years, just tens. Whoa. Now that is some dedication. How the hell did you avoid pulling a 1 rep max in 3 years? That is exceptional discipline. Exceptional, man. Damn, I don't know. Like if I'm manhandling 250 for 6, shit, man. What can your max be? 260, definitely. Definitely, I reckon you could hit 260 for 3. I definitely think you could do that. 270. 270, just trying to imagine. From all the pulls that I've done, if you do 250 for a set of 6, I reckon 260 you can do for a set of 4. 270 for a double. Man, yeah, I don't know, man. What do you reckon? What do you reckon, boys? Does he have 280 in the bag? If he can do 250 for 6, maybe that's too much. I don't know. 270, I reckon you could pull. Maybe. Oh shit! Mine is probably almost identical to yours. At most, maybe 290. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's. I always get interested in like those. In those predictions. I don't know. Like, yeah. I know there are some people that are just inherently good at reps. And they just crumble at high weights. And I also know there are people the other way who suck at high reps, but they just have top end strength like you wouldn't believe. So if you could do 280, I'll be very, very surprised and pleased. Following for years, Wu says, during my squad journey recently found out I have congenital hip dysplasia after 29 years of my life. Just won't be part of my life anymore. Any advice? Geez, hip dysplasia. I don't know much about that, but I find it hard to believe that after 29 years of no troubles, you now have troubles. Now, I'd say I'm not a doctor when it comes to all this, or a physio. I don't know much about that, but it is very surprising, to say the least. Alrighty, let me yank this. Alrighty, let's put 200 on. Should I give this a try with no straps? Double overhand grip 200 attempt. Very unlikely, very, very unlikely, but fuck it, I'll give it a shot, why not? Let me give it a shot. The bar's gonna roll and it's not gonna work. But I've done 180 with a deadlift bar with that super, super strong knurling, like needles in your hands. I've done 180 multiple times, double overhand grip. No hook. But this slippery freaking bar, Ollie bar, hardly any knurling. And spins like crazy. Let's give it a shot, eh? Hey, what's the worst that can happen? No. Straight away, spinny, spinny. I could try over and under, but I'd rather not do that to my spine, helicoptering away. I learned that fairly quickly in my lifting career, that over under wasn't my thing. And then I just went nuts with hook grip for a while there, for a few years. Got to 200 kilo deadlift with that, actually 220. I hit 220 with a hook grip. And then my hand started to bleed a lot. My thumbs were getting destroyed. It was going to work. And I work in a hospital, by the way, for some of you that don't know. With beat up hands, open wounds, alcohol gel becomes a nightmare. So I gave that shit up real quick, and I said to myself, look, if I was going to compete, sure, I'll be able to take a block of training, but day in, day out, doing hook, That's not going to work for me in my career. All right, this is 200. Let's yank it. Now, can I put this without having the lift? That's gonna fucking piss me off. Some of these plates are slightly bigger, and for some reason the 10 kilo bumper is slightly taller. And that makes it very difficult to put on. Now I put it, fucking hell. Not enough space in the gym. Now the rack is blocking it. What happened there? So, 220. Chuck this guy on. Get tired freaking. Alrighty. Locked and loaded, eh? Now we're gonna have fun with a loaded 220 for a little while. I do eventually plan on having a season at some point again, like maybe 2 months, where I only focus on heavy singles exclusively, just to fully realize my top end strength. Yeah, you're due for it for sure, man. Yeah, you definitely are there. A peaks for, yeah, precisely what I'm starting to think I need now. The progress with tens is still going understood, which is why I've done so long doing things. Oh, hey, man, if it's still going, I would argue not to even worry about singles. If you're still finding progress and your shit is still going up, dude, whatever, man. I guarantee you, if you get that 250 deadlift to set of 20, you are much stronger. Screw the singles and the doubles and the triples. If you can do that shit, you are definitely stronger with RM. This is the thing. People become so freaking focused on the 1RMs that they forget that there are other ways to test strength. You know, I just keep building it, man. But like, you know, you can also do what I do. I mean, I don't really do peaking blocks per se. I just throw in a couple of single sessions here and there. You know, I'll do it, see what's up. I'm not in my optimal, you know, strength, but at least I know what I can handle at that moment in time, and that works for me. Gives me a feeling. Alrighty, 220. Remember, dead stop. I have to always remember that shit. I get excited and I just want to yank and pull and rip. Rest it, reset, go again. Yeah, that's heavy. Holy shit. Felt my chest on that. Ooh. Felt my pecs pull there. Oh. Yeah, that's heavy. Thank you, Greg. Just feels so unnatural to reset and just regenerate that momentum every time. Oh, appreciate you, Greg, man. Nice, Greg. It's amazing that you've been here for 5 years, dude. That's a lot of time. And what's even more amazing is that you've also stuck with it all this time, which is a rare thing to see. Because this is very much a marathon, man. All these sets and reps that we put in are just investments for the future. You know, last time I did that 200 for 7 sets of 5. Holy shit, man, my lats were sore for like 4 days straight. They were sore for a long time. Habib, man, thank you, dude. Soulboy60, how are you, man? I'm good. I'm very good, man. This type of life is not meant for most people. It's a lifelong commitment if you want to really get to a crazy high place. For sure, dude. And you know, there's a lot of truth to that in other areas as well, man. A lot of people will become early intermediates in many different things. But it takes a certain type of crazy guy, I guess, to excel to the nth degree in one thing. You know, you get to an intermediate, and when you hit your first plateau, first difficulty, people like it just fucking bounce. Too hard, off you go. But there are some people that are like, you know what? Nah, I want to fight. And if you can make it out of the intermediate stage in one piece and still intact your motivation and the rest of it, then you can push on to further heights. But it's not for everyone, like I said, definitely not for everyone. I fully accepted the fact that I'm crazy. Otherwise, I could not have gotten to this point in my training. Oh, for sure. You're missing something. There's something about you that's missing, that's angry, that's yearning for more. And that goes for anybody that tries to excel in anything. You know, I tried to kind of sell this training idea to other people. My wife is a prime example, and she doesn't have that fire, man. You know, I've got this fire in me, man. And you can't teach somebody that shit. It's something that's in your development, your childhood experiences. Maybe you're the youngest kid in the family like me. Always wanted to play with my brother and his friends, 4.5 years older than me. Wanted to play basketball, wanted to play soccer with them. But just too small, too young. And I was a small kid, man. Up to year 10, 11, I was the smallest kid. And then I had this big growth spurt. So like for a long period of time, I was this like tiny little kid. And I always asked, you know, fucking one day, man, fucking when I grow up, I'm going to be the strongest, the fastest, you know, all that shit. Now I'm 36. And I still have this like residue of that probably in me. And I can't go ahead and teach that. I can't be like, hey, dude, be hungry. Nah, man, fucking you can't tell somebody to be hungry. Either you're fucking hungry or you ain't. If you ain't, then that's it. Like you're going to be that kid that doesn't dive on the ball on the court. Whereas me, I'm fucking diving on the ball, knocking your fucking coach out and the tight bench. The ball is mine. That type of hunger. You can't coach that. You can't tell somebody to put their head through a wall. You can't tell somebody to go squat every day for 5 years. Shit's not normal. I'm fully, like you said, Greg, I'm fully aware of that. This shit that I'm doing ain't normal, man. Of course, 100%. Straight away, you know that without even knowing my life and my intricate details, I don't share too much on this channel, but straight away you know, well, this motherfucker's been squatting for 5 years straight. That means he probably doesn't go out to the pub every night. He probably has a really small friend group. And you're right. I've got 2 friends that are like my brothers, and then everything else is kind of like hit and miss. I'm friendly with many people. A lot of my colleagues are very, very friendly. But there's only 2 dudes that are like in my life all the time. And so you can kind of see that these are the type of things that makes a guy squat 5 years in a row. It's not your normal thing, dude. You can't do normal things in life and expect abnormal things to happen to you. The people that have abnormal success, abnormal behaviors, they do abnormal things. You know, that guy that you once knew in high school, in primary school, who was a mathematician genius. I guarantee you that dude didn't have 100 girlfriends. I guarantee you that. It's just one thing leads to another, right? Like that guy is probably a certain type of individual. He probably has a degree of autism, and autism probably doesn't lend itself fully to social interaction. And so that's just the way it is. So without even knowing me, you know that this bloke doesn't spend every night at the pub. And I can, I'll agree with that. I'll tell you, I do not spend a lot of time in the pubs. A lot of my free time is here. And when it's not here, I'm with the fam, chilling, enjoying my kids, seeing them grow up, helping them do their things, my 2 mates, family, and then reset. The 24-hour cycle is finished again. And so everything, like you said, Habib, everything has a freaking cost, dude. Nothing happens, oh, fuck, you know, Ivan, you know, that's just a normal bloke down the street, squatting every day for 5 fucking years. Well, if your definition of normal is that, then you're missing the point, because I'm not in that bell curve. Blokes don't even squat once a week. It's the favorite thing to skip. And here is a bloke that squats every day for 5 years. Fuck the results or no results or any of that shit. Do it. Do something like that. Nah, it's not for everyone. Not everyone's wired the same way. Not everyone needs this much peace in church. This is my church. Not everyone needs this much freaking motivation, this much meditation. So clearly, you know, something is in my mind all the time. Everyone tells me all the time, Ivan, you're so fucking deep and meaningful all the time. Because I hate the conversations. If I meet a bloke and we're talking about the fucking weather and we're talking like, you know, just general shit, that to me is a wasted breath. It's a wasted. Don't talk to me about, you know, social nice things. My brain is constantly thinking about what the fuck we're doing here. What are we doing in this world, dude? Well, like, why are we living? What the hell are we doing right now? The big questions. Is there a God? What happens after death? You know, how do we end up in here? Evolution versus creation. Fucking you name it, man. Euthanasia. It's another big thing in my mind. Is euthanasia a good thing? That's another question in my mind. Euthanasia. Should we as a society be able to kill somebody else? I see both arguments, and I sometimes dwell on this for freaking days. What's the other one? There's capital punishment. Capital punishment is another thing. You know, some of these big topics in my mind, I'm just like, that's to me, philosophy type shit. Like that to me is real conversation and real crap. All this other shit that goes on, I'm like, fucking spare me, man. So oftentimes I don't have any music in here. I'm sitting here next to my fucking weights and sitting about and thinking about this shit. And then I turn the camera on and I just splurge some of that shit to you guys. And you're like, fuck, Ivan, you know, how do you come up with this shit? You must do a lot of writing, somebody said to me. You must do a lot of writing about, you know, what you're going to say. You do scripts for the video. No, I don't, man. The script is always running in my mind. I'm always thinking about this shit. And so like I turn on the camera for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I speak some of those thoughts. And that's it. It's constantly a dialogue in my mind. That to me is quality. That to me is quality. And then this is, I don't give a fuck what your favorite social influencer said. And is he natty or not? Does he take 10 grams of fucking protein and steroids? I don't give a shit. All of that is meaningless to me. I'm beyond that. I'm beyond this vanity of, do I have a six-pack or whatever, blah, blah, blah. The thing that really concerns me deeply and troubles me deeply are far deeper than fucking how you look and how big your lips are and how big your tits are and how big your ass is and how many Ferraris you have and where you live and blah, 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 all that shit. Fuck that. We're all headed to the grave. We're all going to die. None of this shit means anything. Tell me something serious. Tell me something, more interesting than, oh, let's make some fucking money through business. Don't give a fuck. I've got plenty as it is. I've got a roof over my head, full belly, kids are safe. I have a job. Everything's good. I don't want your money. I don't want your Ferrari. I don't want your business opportunity, your sponsorship. I don't want any of that crap. What I want is quality discussion, quality relationships, quality time, extending my horizon. These are the things that I give a fuck about. Most of all this other shit, I'm like, my best mate said to me, like George, the cameraman, he always says to me, Van, man, I've known you for many fucking years. You are not meant for this world. You are not meant for this world, as in, I'm living in the wrong time, because like most people don't think like this. I can show you hundreds of messages on Instagram of people saying, let's collab, let's fucking sell my protein, sell my fucking jewelry, send my watches, sell all this shit, opportunities. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that. You're not going to use me as a vessel for your fucking business. You're not going to do it. If you want to sell GHDs and barbells and whatever, like Bells of Steel, that is a company that I respect. This feeds an individual somewhere in the world like me. Good equipment for people at home that wants to sit around with no music, a loaded barbell, and just lift weights and think about philosophy. Sure, Bells of Steel, you guys are legends. The way you respect me, the way you talk about it, I like that. That is my character. This is who I am. But like for me to go out of my way to make a buck for some shit about some lab that will test your blood and tell you your testosterone is low so they can sell you some testosterone and some other shit. And then years down the track, you got a disease with your endocrinology, your fucking thyroid's fucked, your adrenal glands are exhausted, you can't have kids, and all that shit's going, oh, but you got some muscle, man. Fucking what? What are we doing here? So all of these, the world as a whole is vastly misled. And unfortunately, I've said this many times before, the people that have the most attention on this in this fitness world are the people that have chicks with big asses and big tits and people that have the biggest dosages of steroids. If she's hot and if he's big and muscly, all of a sudden he's the wisest man on the planet. Even though he's got a peanut for a freaking brain, he's muscly, so everyone listens to him. And in my mind, I'm like, are we fucking serious, dude? How the fuck does this guy have a following? Look at him. He's a numbskull. The man can't spell his own fucking name, and he has millions of subscribers because he is appealing to that reptilian part of our fucking brain, which means like, oh my God, this guy's muscly. He demands respect. And so we give him respect. We give him millions of views constantly, feeding him. Because everyone wants to be the muscly guy. But nobody wants to be a wise man. Nobody wants to be a monk in a corner with no belongings at all, only a cloth on his back, sitting around on a fucking rock with a bunch of other monks talking about what the fuck are we doing on this planet. Now, if you compare the muscly guy with Ferraris and Lambos and mansions and a monk, 10 out of 10 times I'm going to walk towards the monk, sit on that rock and be like, dude, tell me something that's going to make this murky water a bit more clearer for me, man. Tell me what peace is. Because that bloke over there with the testosterone syringes and fake chicks, gold diggers, that dude is in crisis point. That man is the furthest away from peace and happiness. The monk with nothing, he has everything. He has wealth to me. He has speak. But no, individuals like this get shut down. Nobody wants to listen to a guy like that. Nobody wants to give that guy attention. He's not sexy. And so this is where I come from. And 9 out of 10 people do not understand this. And they don't understand that I'm not about the things that most people are about. And I concern myself about much, much deeper topics. It's not sexy, it's not going to make you money, it's not going to do any of these wonderful things, but I don't give a fuck about money, number one. And I concern myself with much deeper topics. And no pharaoh that has hundreds of thousands of freaking whatever, slaves and power and armies and pyramids and all this shit, that bloke went to the same place that we all go. So what is the point? What is the point of accumulating wealth? What I'm interested in about is something deeper. And funnily enough, after I've just given you this guy's whole freaking spiel, this freaking loaded barbell, for some reason, when I'm exhausted and huffing and puffing, it makes the thoughts come clearer to me. I have not realized and worked out why that shit is the case, but when I work out, there is peace and my thoughts are clearer. And I can't work that shit out for the life of me. And this is what kind of keeps me coming back every day. I'm like, fuck, man. Every time I grab that barbell and I have muscular exhaustion and exertion, my mind is at ease. It's weird. Having said all of that, I think I've done a freaking 20-minute spiel here, and I haven't done a set in yongs. So let me freaking do another set, and then we can get back to it, eh? Today's been more of philosophy than lifting. Well, let's go. This is a dead stop. Make sure you dead stop. Dead stop that shit. Long ass break. Must have been 15 minutes minimum. All right. Come on. So heavy. That shit is heavy. Oof. So true, it's been continuous for those before you, but I've never reached you. Oh my God. Give me a sec, guys. Oh, the bumper plates, James. The bumper plates. Very minimal sound. Which is why I use bumpers and not the metal ones. The metal ones will destroy the floor. Thank you, Ram. Good night if you're going to head to sleep, man. Sorry to pile all that on you as the final thought. Octavo Dad, sad to see that our society has come to this. Everyone has the wrong values nowadays. Yeah, we lost our ways somehow, man. We lost our ways. The spiritual is dead. The materialistic is very much alive. Everyone chases the dollar. Spiritual peace and value is going down the drain. Oh, but don't worry, they have a pill for that, you see. You can pop a pill and sort out all of these side effects of chasing money. You keep chasing money, but there's a pill that you take to numb the soul of the pain. You know what I mean? Tom Berry. Oh, Barry 277, man. You can write. That's some good writing there, man. I wish I could write. All I do is do a lot of talking. I'm not good with words like that, but that's cool. Octavo Dad, thank you, man. Test, interesting point. Mobility definitely matters, but it depends on the application of your body, I guess. Hammer time 89, you can't be serious, right? Listening to you right now is really respectable, and it is refreshing to hear perspective like coincided. Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, all of this stuff doesn't get talked about. Holy Basil. Euthanasia is squatting every day. Oh, Lemon. Where does the short video posted on the channel like yesterday's? Yeah, I'll look through it again, man. I know a lot of people don't mess with the lives. You know, I'll look through it again, and you know, oftentimes I just play the video while I'm doing things around the house, whatever, and listen to my thoughts, which generate more thoughts, obviously. It's like a loop that never stops. You hear yourself talk about your thoughts, which brings more thoughts, and it just keeps on going and going and going, with no solution inside, oftentimes. But yeah, everything's driven by something, man. You know, some people yearn fame so much, they'll do anything for it. Which is an interesting perspective, right? Because why do you need so much fame? Why is fame so sexy? Why is power so sexy? Like, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that money? All the money. What are you going to do? Get more leisure in your life. Power. Once you get power, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with it? Okay, sure, you're going to blow some of it on leisure and pleasure and all that stuff, but like, what are you going to do after that? You're going to give it to the poor? No. Very few people do that. No. I'm going to give it away. Why would I give it away? So you're going to use that power for, oh yeah, generating more wealth. Okay. So what are you going to do with that extra wealth? Oh, it's just a game. You just want to get more and more wealth. I just don't see it, dude. I don't see what the point is. Oh yes, that's right. I'm going to give it to my kids. Okay. So do we have case studies on this? Yeah. We know that when you give young people too much power and wealth, what happens to them? Well, they don't learn anything. They're spoiled, spoon-fed. They don't understand what the world is. They don't understand what hardship is. And they grow up into losers that society frowns upon. So you're not going to give it to your kids. So what the fuck are you going to do? What are you going to do, man? You can't take this shit with you. What are we doing, man? I think some of these people that do this shit, they don't understand what the end game is. Because the end game usually revolves some sort of spiritual talk. What happens? What happens after you die? What happens? What happens, man? What is the point of all this shit? People don't think about their demise at all, except for people that are like perhaps in health industry, the health sector, and they're surrounded by it. And you think to yourself, shit, man, this bloke died at 55? Shit, I'm 36. Fuck. If I die at that age, that's like 20 years left. Okay. Shit, okay. Really heavy stuff. Really heavy stuff. But, you know, each their own, I guess. But I think that's my problem. I think about the end game too much. Think about this shit. I'm like, cool, no worries. 220, fantastic. Imagine if I was doing 5 sets with 300. How's it going to change my life? What's going to change? Except a couple more plates from the bar. Am I going to stop training? No. I'm not going to stop training. I love fucking training. Sick. So no matter what the weight on the bar is, I'm still in here, working hard. So what am I doing here? Oh, yeah. I might go to a competition and get a plastic trophy that costs $15. And I'll put it up somewhere that no one gives a fuck about. Okay. I ask myself this, what are you doing with this? Oh, that's right, I'm going to have the biggest, fattest back. Oh my God, everyone's going to be walking around like, wow, Ivan's a really strong guy. Who cares about that? I've got a missus. not looking for a chick. Got kids, got a house, got everything I need. I'm trying to teach them good values. So like, what are we doing here? So it doesn't really matter, dude. That's the point. It doesn't matter what's on the bar. What matters is the fucking journey, dude. Lift the damn weight. Sit your ass down. Rest. Lift it again. Don't stress over the progress. It means nothing to anyone. If the Pacers win the NBA championship in 2 days' time, who gives a fuck? Halliburton is still a max player. Halliburton is not going to be the best of all time. None of those dudes that are playing right now are going to be regarded maybe even top 10 at all. So cool, like, just let go of the stress, man. None of this shit matters. Maybe for those guys it matters much more because they're at the pinnacle of their height. But like me, I'm not going to do anything, pinnacle of anything. I'm just doing this because I love it. And so I love to train. And so just freaking train. Focus on the training. Be happy you're training. Nothing will change. Even if I'm like at 350 kilos right now doing this for a set of 5, the next day I'll still come in and still train again and again. I'll train until I die. And so the perceived exertion is what matters. And that's all that means. You know, like, okay, sure, I'll upload this some crazy fucking set onto like 1,000,000 views. Cool. And then what? People are going to be like, oh, Ivan, he's pretty strong. Cool. Move on. I've got my own things to worry about. People think that like people give a fuck, but people don't give a fuck. People like people, but that's where it ends. Like, I appreciate your thoughts. I appreciate who you are. But dude, I'm not going to sit in your hospital bed when you're sick and you're dying. There's very few people that actually will do that for you. So that's so well and good and great, but don't worry about too much what people outside your circle even think. Just enjoy what you're doing. Don't stress over the progress. Help a brother out. Help a person that you like. Help people out because that in turn really makes you feel good. And then that's it. Like, I think people think too much about all this sort of crap. And I often sit here and I'm like, oh my God, if I got to 300 kilo squat, what's going to happen? Nothing, man. The day after I hit 300, if I ever hit it, I'm going to come back and train again. Let that sink in. You're not going to be the first one or the last one that's going to squat 300. It's not special. Just keep training. Training, the rocking up every day is the special bit. All right, now, my glutes are feeling it. This is heavy. I'm taking long ass breaks. This is probably why I'm talking so much. Psychologically, I'm like, oh, please just do some more talking so you can have more time between sets. I'll see what's happening here, brain. Trying to escape that 220. Oh. Oh. Yeah. 3 sets is plenty. That's some heavy ass shit. All right, next time I'll aim for 4. I found my working weight now. Thanks, Lemon. Yeah, Khabib, you got it. It's a cycle. Octavio, Dad, appreciate you, man. Mr. Hicks, Let me read that again, man, without huffing and puffing too much. Mr. Hicks, the root of all these issues is either pride, fear, or both. Follow the trail of the motivations of these people in society and why they do what they do, and they will always find it is driven by that. Pride, fear, or both. Pride and fear. Interesting, man. Very interesting. Pride. I'm so proud. What the fuck is that? Look at me, man. Look at me. I'm the biggest and the baddest. Interesting concept, isn't it? No matter how much you fight that pride, it's a very powerful thing. It's like evolutionary process of like fighting to be the alpha. Doug, do you think it's beneficial to be around 20% body fat for muscle strength, or is it enough 12, 15? 12 to 15 is very lean, man. Depends on your goals is, man. Like really, I really think that if aesthetics is something that really matters to you, then any bulk you go on is going to make you sad. And so you're probably going to have to minimize that. But if you don't really give a shit about, you know, being an anatomy chart, then I think 20% is fine. Yeah, it just depends. Like, dude, it all depends on what you want, you know. If you're trying to sell some shit, then maybe you need to look apart or whatever. I don't know. People seem to get attracted to anatomy charts a lot. But for me personally, I like performance. I like feeling good. I like having reserve, health. It's much healthier to be a bit chubbier. These dudes that are 10% body fat, don't know, man. It seems like a whole bunch of misery. Seems like I would be unhappy with that. Like maybe somebody would be unhappy to have my body. I would be unhappy to live that life. You know, grains of rice on a freaking plate. Not about that, man. I want to feel good, be strong, move weight. Those are my concerns. Whereas some of these dudes that are like really lean, I feel like they look good, but they don't actually feel very good. And if you know, test their blood, a lot of these natural dudes that are really lean, the testosterone count is down, the sperm counts are down, like everything is down. You know, malnourished. If you look at the bodybuilders, man, they're like fucking borderline about to die, some of these people, man. You know, you get a dude that's about to walk on stage, you get him to run up a 10K, you know, jog, he's dead. He's literally going to die. What the fuck is that sport about, man? You know, what the hell is that about? A pharmacy of drugs on board to look a certain way, and all the people in the audience are like, bravo, bravo. I don't get it. I don't understand why we celebrate unhealthiness, but whatever, each to their own, I guess. We all have a reason for what we do, you know, how we do it, but to me it's ironic that the pinnacle of the sport, which is supposed to be surrounded by health and fitness, is actually 10 times unhealthier than the bloke that's sitting on the couch eating a donut. At least that guy's not dying on a show, Arnold Classic. People are dropping dead, some of these bodybuilders, and you're like, what the fuck? These people are the fittest, supposedly, the leanest, the strongest. And they are dropping dead on the day of their display. Work that shit out, man. The bloke and chick die on the peak of their year. Fuck. Wrap your head around that shit, man. Chick died a few months ago in the back rooms of Arnold Classic, I think it was, or where the hell it was. What the fuck? She died. Bodybuilding is very strange and gay. I've known quite a few of them, and they are sus as. Oh, it's funny shit, man. Yeah, I think it's gotten out of hand in the sense that in the 21st century, people have just gone down the route of drugs like crazy. Sure, Arnold did things, but Arnold didn't look like he had freaking bowels are growing, bubble gut. They just look like they've got liver failure, man. Some of these dudes are like jaundice. They literally have jaundice. If you don't know what jaundice is, it's that yellow tinge of skin, a symptom of liver failure. It's like, what the fuck are you guys doing, man? Degenerates. Instead of hitting up meth, they've decided to hit up drugs on the bodybuilding circuit. They're no different. They're no different to the crack guys that are on the street. They're addicted to drugs, man. To me, it's just not my type of stuff. And as a father, I'm getting to that age where I'm like, I've got little ones. I've got a 9-year-old. So he sees me training all the time. He wants to see other people training all the time. And unfortunately, the industry that I'm in are topped by people that are full of drugs. And so straight away, it is an issue of mine because my boy wants to enter this world and all he sees is people on drugs. And that is a problem to Ivan. What the hell do I show him? You show him these icons of the game right now today, people that are getting the most amount of coverage, drugs. You literally get thousands of viewers, followers, if you say to yourself, hey guys, so it turns out I've just turned 18 years old and I'm going to start my first train cycle. Boom. Algorithm sends you like crazy. It's funny. They will propagate, the algorithm and the platforms will make that really popular because everyone wants to see that. And people that are speaking of health and fitness, no one wants to see that. Bizarre. It's because the general populace don't quite understand some of these things. And, I can attest to that because when I was coming into the game, I thought some of these blokes like Arnold Schwarzenegger was natural. This is like Ivan at 15, 16, 17 years old, learning about all these things. And I'm like, yeah, Arnold just trains really hard. That was the belief I had. And then obviously over the years you learn things and then you realize that damn near everyone that's up in the game, in social media at least, definitely in bodybuilding, everyone's on drugs. And it's incredible how common it is now. Now dudes that I know, personally know, guys, like come up to me, they don't even look like they lift. And the guy's like, yeah, I'm on stuff. And you're like, oh my God. So the society has gone to this level where even the bloke that doesn't look like he lifts is on something. It's a crazy world, man. But it's a problem. So I have to fight all these forces off for my children, to teach them that there is a nice, healthy way of doing this stuff. And it doesn't involve drugs. It's a slow process. You're going to get teased by some of the people that view you. Because, Ivan, you've been squatting for 5 years and you've done such shit progress. Look at this guy. Tom Platz, he did this. That viewer doesn't know 2 things about squatting, 2 things about anything, but he sees a guy who squats every day and he's like, but Ivan, Tom Platz squats once a fortnight. What are you doing? And then I have to go down the path of, something called steroids. Yeah. So it's different. What they do is different. I can't do what they do. And so if I get questions like this all the time, then it just shows you that the general person grossly underestimates their uses. I'm not saying that I'm the best and my method is better. I'm not saying that at all. But people's idea of what's normal, what's achievable is completely out of the window. There is like, every day you see somebody that's like 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, benching 500, 600, and you're like, what the fuck is this? Here's another one. And of course, they're going to soak up all the attention. It's like, oh my God, that's a child. That is a child handling 5 plates on the bench. A child. Degeneracy, my friends, degeneracy. It's taking you 12 years to get to 70 kilos. I respect that, dude. That is exactly my experience as well. Shit, it's slow. It's taken me 5 years to get to 200 kilo squat. Life just gets in the way too many times. For sure, Doug, you know. Yeah, same. Step 1 is start the cycle. Exactly. In my local gym, I notice how many younger people are taking drugs just as it's a thing you do. When you start the gym, it worries me. These people also seem anxious, fragile, usually kind though. Yeah, look, these people are real human beings. Of course, some of them are very, very nice, and I speak to some of them as well. Absolutely. But to me, it's like something is missing. The overarching, and I've spoken a lot to some of these guys, and obviously I try to hit some of these heavier topics that a lot of people don't want to talk about. You know, you never want to force somebody into any thought, but like you try to trigger some thoughts. And I don't, like, first of all, I don't know the upbringing. I don't know where their father was, where their mother was, what the upbringing is. Is there something that's incomplete in that person's character? Was there abuse? Was there some sort of like PTSD type shit going on? What is missing for you to really want to try and become an ogre, to try and stick out, to get recognized? What is that? Like, what do you think fame or recognition is going to get you? Look at case studies around the world. Like Kurt Cobain blew his brains out being the #1 rock star in the world. That's something. How come he should be the happiest of all, yet he suicided? And so, like, what is going on with a bloke like that led to that? That to me is interesting, and I think about a lot about that as well. Like, so money and fame and fortune and cars and women and houses and all this stuff doesn't bring you that peace. How many monks commit suicide? That bloke's got no wealth at all. These are some of the contrasts and comparisons that I always go through in my mind, because I'm like, I'm not the first human being to believe on this planet. There are many examples, and you can just simply open your eyes and ears and you can get to see that. And so when I see some of these events happen, some of these things eventuated, I'm like, fuck, what is going on there, man? Like, why is that guy acting the way he is? Dude, like, why are these people doing this? Hollywood, so many people are marrying the #1 A-lister chick, movie star. They get divorced 3 months in. It's like, what the fuck? What's going on there? What type of life is that? Like, why aren't you happy? What is going on behind closed doors? What is going on with some of these individuals? Are these individuals that we're putting up in these slides, camera and action, are these people actually the worst of the kind? Are they actually just damaged and so destroyed? They've given everything for this one thing, and then they realize once they get it that this shit ain't nothing, man. That it's better just to be just a normal Joe Blow on the street with a white picket fence, a couple of kids and a wife that respects you, cares for you, is loyal to you. Maybe that is the goal of life. But no. They have to sell the product somehow, and so they sell it in a way where they're like, you know, this Ferrari will bring you happiness. But I know of people that have Ferraris and they've committed suicide. So how much happiness is that Ferrari really bringing if that bloke put a shotgun in his mouth and pulled the trigger? He had a Ferrari. Isn't that happiness? And so you kind of go down the thoughts of all of this, and you kind of get stuck. You're like, maybe this shit doesn't even mean anything. Like you said, an empty hole. Maybe there's just an unfillable empty hole. The Ferrari ain't gonna fill, the Lambo ain't gonna fill. The chick with plastic boobs and who's there only because you have fame and clout, she can't fill it. Maybe you need to chat to that monk. Maybe you need to do that. And a lot of people do see that light and they go down that path. And it all comes back down to the original question. What the fuck is going on here? What are we all doing here? And why are we all in this rat race? What are we doing? where the end of this journey of this rat race is literally off the cliff, death. What are we doing, man? Are we that blind? Are we that dumb? Have they really made us that dumb that we don't understand the first thing about what this is, what we are? Whether you're spiritual or not, whether you're religious or not, whether whatever you want to do about any of this shit, maybe you don't even ask yourself these questions, but I think it's well worth your time to actually think about what the fuck you're doing and why you're doing it. I think about these types of questions all the time, as you can see. I spend a lot of energy on it, and I'm constantly thinking about it. And then once I had kids, I even spend more energy on this shit because I'm like, holy crap, I got to work this crap out. You know, my boy's 9. Like, you know, he's got a brain now. Like, you know, he's awake. He's not a 5-year-old anymore, 3-year-old that doesn't know how to toilet himself. You know, like, eventually he'll be 15, 16, 20. I'll be training with him every night here. We'll be talking about this heavy shit. What do I tell him? Hopefully, you know, by then I learned some things, and obviously I'll have, you know, some history to show him of my decision making and why I did what I did. And hopefully I'll lead him down the right path. But there's a lot of pressures out there for young people to go down the wrong path. And it's very, very difficult for parents, for people that care for people, to actually fight off some of these negativity and to tell him, no, put the syringe down. Put the syringe down. Don't chase emptiness. There is more virtue in charity than there is in gluttony, than there is in riches, chasing this man-made currency they call the dollar. But you see it everywhere. You know, people, if there's another job that pays $5,000 more, it is a no-brainer. They don't even think about the terms and conditions of the work. Even if that job is 20 fucking more hours more a week, it's $5,000 more. I'll take it. And it's like, fucking hell, man. It's so incredible. We put our kids through 12 years of education, and then they go to university. Some of them don't. Some of them pick up a trade, and they come out of all of that shit, and they don't know what the fuck is going on. Prime example here. I was in year 12 and I'm like, I have no idea what the hell this is. I don't know what I'm doing, man. Like, literally, I've spent 12 years in this fucking education system, and I'm up to this point. They're like, choose something, man. Choose what, man? I don't know anything. What the hell have you taught me? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Mom's like, do nursing. It's really good. You're helping people and stuff. Okay, shit, I'll do nursing. That sounds like a really cool thing. You're helping people. I like help people. That's probably going to make me feel good. I'll do that. You know, I started doing that. I'm fucking 36 now, with a couple of kids and a wife. You know, and the decision is carried on through, and I'm lucky that I fell into something that's worth some value. But 12 years of education and they haven't taught me anything. Or they taught me some algebra. You see, algebra is fucking very important, man. You need algebra. You need to know the fucking calculus, man. You need to know the quadratic formula, because that shit is very important. No one taught me philosophy. No one taught me, what the fuck are we doing here? Why are we breathing oxygen, polluting this planet? No one tells you any of this stuff. It's just all this knowledge. But it's not knowledge. It's not real shit. No one tells you this stuff. And then obviously, you know, if you're in the wrong country, they would say, pick up that rifle and go to the front line and shoot some people down. And then off you go, you do that. And my family got stuck in some of that shit. You know, civil war, bang, I ended up in restart my life. You know, my parents restarted their life with me on board in Australia. And I'm like, fuck, what was that war about? Why were we killing our neighbors? Oh, religion. Was it? But fucking Catholics and Orthodox is basically the same shit anyway. Why are they fighting each other? Well, you know, they said religion. Fucking, I don't understand that shit. They believe the same crap, man. I don't understand. Why is it so different? Oh, you know, politics and stuff, you know, this guy, that guy. Bullshit. It's all the same crap. It's the politicians trying to make war and money and get profits out of it. But thousands of people died. Thousands of people died. You know. But no, they're not going to teach you the right shit, right? Because then once you have a brain, you start thinking for yourself. Now you're a problem. You're a rebel. You're an unusable unit in a population, and that is a problem. You become, you know, what do they call them? Heresy. You know, you get burnt at the stake for saying some of these things. Burnt at the stake. Why are you questioning the government? Why are you questioning what this is? You don't want people like this, like me, you know, because it's. Why are you questioning things? Just pick up the rifle and kill that dude. Hold on a minute, man. That dude's got a brother and a sister, and he's got a mum and dad. Why am I killing him, dude? He's got the same shit that I got over here. I don't want to kill him. No, but you see the country, the country, man. You see, the country, you need to defend the country. Defend the country against who? Who am I defending the country against? It's a bunch of other kids over there who really don't want to kill anyone anyway. They're being told the same thing. And then the war goes on for 5 years, and then the politicians end up meeting and they shake their hands. All right, mate, we moved the border 1 meter this way. Oh, yeah, that's right. So we've justified the tens and hundreds of thousands of people died for 1 meter of fencing this way. We're going to move the fence this way. Anyway, obviously, tonight I've given you a bit of a spiel, what goes through my freaking brain. There was a rant and a half, and I apologize for some of you guys that had to sit through all this shit, but legit, if you were sitting here with me and, if George is listening to this, we sit here and we talk about this shit fucking an hours, and we call it couching. We sit around, we talk about all this crap all day long. We had another mate, another cameraman that was living close by as well. He's moved away now, but we used to have these couching sessions that we just talk about this shit day and night. The three of us come from 3 different countries, let's say, but all in the region of the Balkans. And we sit around, and some of us have different religions. And I'm like, dude, if I listen to my political leaders, I should be killing you right now. But I love you, bro. You're my brother. I don't give a fuck who you pray to. You're my brother. You're a good dude. And that goes beyond anything else. So you grow up and you realize 12 years of education, most of it is bullshit. Most of it is programming for some sort of economic structure or some sort of military economic, empire that can use you. And so then you come out of 12 years of education, you don't know what the fuck life is. No one teaches you philosophy, because you see, philosophy is dangerous in the sense that it can render you inactive. Who wants Socrates, Aristotle, Plato? Who wants some of these dudes around to sit on a fucking rock for 50, 60 years of their life thinking? We don't need thinkers. Bro, we need somebody to get that fucking shovel and dig that trench. And we need somebody to pick up that chisel and chisel that. We need workers. We don't want thinkers. We want doers. So thinking is very, very dangerous. And my problem is that I can't help but think. I don't do very well with poor leadership. If you tell me to go and kill somebody, you better have a fucking really good example. Really, really good explanation for this. And even then, I have trouble taking a life, dude. You see, because I think about death all the time, you see. And I think about life after death. And I don't think this is it. And me sending him to his maker and me going to my maker, I feel like there's things beyond this. And fuck you, basically. I ain't doing any of that shit. So, but they sell you on that pride, that nationality and all this stuff. Nationality. Tell me about that. So nationality basically means that you're better than the country across the sea or the border. You're better. You need to fight, defend, and kill. Basically kill anyone that approaches your ideology. And I've struggled with this. Obviously, like you guys see, I've come from Serbia, a confused kid who got ripped out of his own homeland at fucking 5 years old. Ran around the Balkan nations and then came here at 9 years old. And I was like, what the fuck are we doing here? Why are we here? And then my, formative years, I was confused about lots of different things. And so it took me many, many years to work out what the hell is going on. And I thought Yugoslavia got screwed over. And then I started learning about Korea. And then I started learning about Vietnam. And then I started learning about Somalia. And then I started learning about Russia and America and the empires and the Cold War and World War II and World War I. And then I read about Israel and the Palestine. And I read about Pakistan and India. And then I read about South Africa. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man? The whole lot of them, all these nations, fucked. Everyone's got a bad story. Everyone's got a story of division, religion, differences, bloodshed, and the shit just keeps on going on. And there will be a fresh generation who are also sold the same 12 years of education. At the end of it, you get a rifle and you march on the trenches over there and you die for some shit. But they don't want to teach philosophy, because philosophy will render some of these young military-aged men useless, because that bloke will just won't fire that bullet. He'll sit on a rock and talk to the enemy and be like, dude, I don't know what the hell we're doing here, man. Why are we supposed to kill each other? That's a problem. No general wants a philosopher. No general, yeah, general wants a numbskull that can pull 300 and run through that brick wall. That's a soldier. Not up here. Not allowed that. You can't think that. And so obviously there's a lot of turmoil within me, because I live in the world just like you guys. And I see this crap and I just struggle with it. I struggle with it, man. Everyone is just so busy running, chasing money. And I struggle with it so immensely because I see what's ahead of them, and there's no value there. And obviously I work in an industry where I see the bloke who's done all the running. He's now 70 years old. He's got cancer. He's sitting in the bed and he's telling me this shit. And he's like, dude, don't fucking run. It's not fucking worth it. There's nothing at the end. There's nothing at the end. I see the blokes that ran the race and they're like, there's nothing at the end of this shit, dude. There's nothing. Stop the fucking race. I'm sitting there and I'm like, nah, but dude, you didn't run hard enough. You see, that was your problem. I'm going to run hard. These are the dumb people. The smart person is like, hold on a minute. I've done 15 years of nursing and basically all of them say the same shit. Don't run. Stop. Not worth it. Oh, dude. This is the conflict that I have. Ivan, somebody said to me, Ivan, 12 weeks on a cycle, 300 deadlift for multiple reps. 12-week cycle, oral steroids, 300 for multiple reps. Your squat is 240, 250. I'm like, sick, man. But why? What am I going to do with that? What am I doing with that? What do I do with that? Okay, I'm imagining. Ivan can deadlift 300, squat 240. I'm there. Fellas, I'm there. I'm imagining this. I'm there. So what are we doing, man? What do I do now? I've imagined it. I'm that future Ivan. I don't feel any different. Is that a problem? I feel the same. In fact, I feel worse, because now I have this anxiety about my health. I'm worried about my health. I'm worried how many years I've shaved off. That 240, 300 means nothing to me. Yeah, what's the point? Stop the race. There's no racing. There's no racing, dude. Enjoy the journey and slow down while you can. Enjoy the years of this life that you have, and do your absolute fucking best to prevent the poisoning of your mind through some of these tubes, some of these airway things that are very accessible with every fucking device, from a watch to a phone, to a computer, to the TV. Or they'll give it to you any way you want it, man. Or they'll give it to you any way you want it, man. You want it on your fucking iPhone, they'll give it to you, man. You just name your platform, they'll poison your shit. Poison that shit. That's the trouble. And I see it, and it pisses me off that everyone's doing this. But I guess I'm part of the minority. And you know, the craziest thing for me is that I've worked with some people that put as many people in body bags as I have, but they don't come away with the same feelings and thoughts that I do. So you might even go through the same fucking shit as me in terms of experiences, but not pull out the same lessons, which makes it even fucking worse, man, right? Because that person's like, I don't know. So I think my upbringing, the war, the religion, all that crap, and then all of the stuff that I've lived through my job, like all of that rolled up into something that you guys see now, which is a whole lot of questions. I don't fucking trust anyone. Like, you know, like I'm very, very skeptic. I'm a skeptic because I've been screwed over from the moment I was born in the country. I started getting screwed over, And that screwing over feeling continued on into every fucking domain of my life, other than my family. And some even close friends have screwed me over. So like I'm a professional screwed over you know, instead of being an employee, I'm a screw over E. You know, I've been screwed over many times. And then you start training weights because you want to get healthy and stuff. And then even in this fucking industry, people are so keen to screw you over. Buy my program, 20 kilos on your deadlift, 12 weeks. Oh, but motherfucker, you never told me you took steroids to get this shit. Yeah. So everyone's a scam. But everyone wants to screw you over. But like, if you remove money out of the mix, no one's gonna screw you over. The reason why people are doing business, and they call this shit business, selling a program which promises something, but they're really cheating you because they didn't tell you that they took steroids to get this. They call this business, right? Oh, he's a very good businessman. He's sold over 1,000 programs. He's a businessman, right? They call this shit business, but really it's a fucking racket. It is fraud, but it doesn't get called out, right? And so I've got screwed over multiple times with this type of shit as well in fitness, which now you see me being a complete damn rogue. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. If I want to squat every day, I'll squat every day. If I want to deadlift, I just run my own shit, and whatever I learn, I go by that. Because I don't trust. I have real trust issues with anybody that I don't believe and have personal relationships with. So I'm a skeptic. But if you remove the money motivation from it, if let's say that guy is selling programs and he's not going to get anything out of it, there's no incentive for him to screw you over. And so he's going to legit help you. He's going to be like, listen, that program here that is about the deadlift program, the 12-week program, it's probably not going to work for you because I've used steroids at this time. And so it's not going to do much for you. You might get something like if you train really hard, but that 20 kilo thing is on steroids. And so, yeah, I'm being honest with you, dude, it's probably not going to work. No. But that last thing that I said, that gets omitted because he's trying to sell you some shit, right? So that's the trouble, the money. And this is why, like my best friend, he's fucking done a PhD in finance. Everything I know about money, he's taught me, although I've got a lot of biases around money. And, I've said to him for many years, money is the root of all evil. And he would always correct me, no, Ivan, money is just a medium. Money is not the power, is the root of all evil. It's the people that love money. Those people are the root of all evil. But, for me, it's like, I understand what he's saying, but what I'm referring and inferring is that great sums of money corrupts our soul. And many people, there's many case studies we can go through. People get corrupted by power. And it's very, very, very corrupting. It's kind of like the Lord of the Rings, right? The ring. The one ring to rule them all. You fucking don that motherfucker on, you're fucked. You get corrupt. So don't put that shit on. And so that was one of my favorite movies growing up. The Lord of the Rings, right? The Lord of the Money. Once you get that money, it's hard. Your character gets really pushed hard to stay on course. And so don't play with the devil, man. Don't play with the devil, you're going to get burned. Yeah. That's why charity is important. It allows you to separate yourself from the attachment of money. Yeah, man. Yep. One thing that I know for sure, is that helping people for free, just genuinely helping people. Right now, there's a fat zero right there. Fat zero for money earned. Yet I'm here for 2 hours. But I genuinely feel good talking to you guys, sharing my thoughts. Because like genuinely deep in my soul, I'm like, I might help someone realize something. And be the change you want to see in the world. So in a way I've got 34 people in this little chat. Be the change you want to see. I desperately want to see people to value some other things. And so I am getting very good feeling from telling you guys, being so open and honest about all these things, because I want to see people, I I want to see people change for the better. You know, I want to see people think on a different frequency. It's not just about this shit that we see on what's being pushed on social media. My deepest motivation here is that, you know, 34, 35 blokes, there might be a girl here too, they might come away from this and have a change in their frequency, in their mindset, in their thought process. And they might say something to someone else that might trigger them in a slightly different, you know, in this type of direction of philosophical thinking. And then all of a sudden, like, there might be a little bit of like a, what's it called, a butterfly effect of change. That to me is important. That's why I feel intrinsically like I'm getting paid hundreds of fucking dollars right now, hundreds equivalent, because I feel this charity. I feel like I'm helping somebody genuinely, and that to me is important, man. And you know, I'll walk away, I'll turn this will all go black, I'll piss off that way, go in the kitchen, kiss the kids, have a shower, come back, and I feel every day, like I sing it to my kids, like when I'm being dorky and funny, I'm kissing the kids, and I'm always saying to myself, I have everything. I'm constantly telling them, I'm kissing, like when I'm smothering the kids, I'm like kissing them, I'm like, Daddy has everything in life. Daddy has everything in life. Constantly, it's basically I'm praying to God in a way. Like I'm literally pushing out into the ethers every single day that I don't need anything. I don't want anything anymore. I have everything. My family is healthy, fit, happy, done. Thank you, Lord, for giving me healthy kids. I've seen so much through healthcare I'm done. I've everything in my life that I need, I've got. It's in there. I'm done. I don't need anything anymore. So I'm a trillionaire when I go in there, honestly. And I truly feel that. I'm so blessed. And so when I do these type of chats, and I'm like literally saying exactly what I feel as it comes off the cuff, I literally feel positivity and happiness, because I genuinely feel that somebody in this chat might feel a certain way, and it might change. And who knows? The world is, there's 8 billion people on the planet, lots of people, right? But who knows? Somebody might talk to somebody, and then this idea might grow, and boom, all of a sudden the world might change simply from one thought that kind of passes over people. Greg, absolutely, man. Learn to be happy with what you have is a very important skill. Absolutely. And I think all of that comes from just looking over the fence and seeing how other people, like I keep saying, the case studies. There's a lot of unhappy people that have a lot of money, man. There's so many unhappy people. Like, fuck it, it's a tragedy. But they've got a Ferrari in the driveway, but he's committing suicide. These things on any platform. God bless Ivan. We need more and more people like Ivan. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. You know, it's really, really nice to hear that, dude. It's really nice to hear that. I genuinely feel I wish more people would just stop the chase, stop the run, just stop. Cut the fake bullshit, man. No one wants to buy anything, man. Just let's talk real shit. But it doesn't get discussed. You know, simply, it's very hard to listen to people, you know, beat around the bush so much. And I'm 36 now, man. Like, I don't want to say I'm running out of time, but fucking hell, it feels like I'm running out of time. I don't have time for bullshit, dude. If you want to talk to me about Ferraris, Lamborghinis, fucking quarter-mile runs and big fat turbos and this shit and that shit, whatever, dude. I'll go a couple of minutes for that, but dude, let's quickly come on course on some shit that we can talk about. Why are you wasting my freaking precious minutes of my life? There's so many more topics at hand that need to be discussed, that need to be stressed over. None of this shit means anything, man. Like, when you fully come around and you truly accept that, you know, and this is kind of where I come from with this stuff as well. Like, I use this as a medium, weightlifting and stuff, and people don't understand. Like, Ivan, you've been training for 5 years and haven't progressed. Progressed to what? What am I progressing? Dude, it's the fucking journey, man. Whether I'm progressing or not means nothing to anyone. I am not selling you a damn fucking thing. I'm not, there is no program I've ever put out. Like, I don't want to do anything. You can buy some of my merch to be like, hey, you know, I'll watch Ivan's channel and, you know, I resonate with him. That's it. Like, and I don't even like sell that anymore. Like, I haven't sold a fucking shirt in months. To me, it's like, none of that crap, you know, none of that crap makes me happy, man. Like, over and over again, I get reminded of that. None of that makes me happy, man. You know? And the more I live, the more I'm like, man, that monk's got it right, man. But obviously, you know, there is some responsibility with having children. You got to put food on the table and stuff. So I have to be a cog in the economic system to a certain degree. And the nursing does that for me. Like, you know, I have a mortgage. I'm not a rich man. Obviously, nurses are not millionaires, but you know, whatever. I'll go to work 5 times a week. That's fine. Chill here. You know, I'm all right. But my biggest concern is how you impact people. If I sell 1,000 programs and I've screwed over each and one of them, that's what I want to know. Like, you know, what I really want to know, like really want to know. I mean, I already know the fucking answer, but that bloke, that guy, and I don't know what guy I'm even thinking about, but some guy. Let's just picture, there's probably many examples. That guy that sold thousands of programs off of a fake image. Let's say he's a fake natty. Ooh, the worst kind. Fuck, that's scamartist.com. Scamartist.com. On false ideas, so program that simply doesn't work because he got results. His evidence is off of a cheat code, steroids, which is fine, but you didn't disclose that in the program. How do they sleep at night? That's what I want to know. How do you go to sleep and you just close? Like, do you feel good? You don't. Like, everyone's got a soul, and these people feel rotten. And probably these people eventually feel so rotten that they end up going to the doctor and be like, I'm depressed. You see, doc, I'm really depressed. I need an antidepressant. So he takes his antidepressant with his Lamborghini and Ferrari. He drives home. You know, takes a bigger dose. You know. But because we didn't get taught philosophy, we didn't get taught spirituality in our first 12 years of life, 12 years of education, we don't really know how to be happy. And we get taught that money makes happiness. And it's like this spiral. And then the viewers are like, oh man, that guy is so cool. He's got a Ferrari, he's got a hot chick, and he's got a big house. I want to be like that. Let me buy all of his shit and listen to him and go down that path. Boom. Millions of people go down the same path. This is what I always say to people all the time. If you ever want to check yourself to see if you're on the right path and you are morally correct, just picture yourself this question. What if everyone did what I'm doing? Where would the world end up? If everyone followed some of these characters, how many more deaths will we feel? Or is the volume not up? How many of these characters, what would the impact be for some of these people? Millions, like when you have millions of followers and viewers, you have a responsibility to help people, not have a net negative. And I'm not sure if some of these dudes give a fuck. I think a lot of these dudes don't give a fuck. You are a number, a dollar sign, and just give me that money and that's it. I'll take my antidepressants and we move on. Because I don't think you can cheat the system. Like, ultimately, your soul is listening constantly, and your gut feeling, whatever you want to call it, is always listening. And so you pay your dues somehow, in some shape or form. You're going to pay, whether you like it or not. When you shut those eyes and you go to sleep, your consciousness knows what the fuck you've done. You know, the Japanese have this belief, I think it's the Japanese, that if you murder somebody, you take on their burden of that soul that you've murdered, of that person. You take on their burden. And everyone's got a burden. Everyone's got problems and burdens that they carry. So all of a sudden, your shoulders become heavier. You murder somebody else. Now you're carrying multiple people's problems on top of you, on your consciousness. So then you go to sleep, you can't sleep. Your brain is trying to fix millions of problems. So I think it's the Japanese that believe in that, and it really resonates that. Sure, you can be a gangster, sell drugs, that's fine, cool, no worries. You know you're screwing people over. You know full well you're not helping anybody here, man. You're helping people, you're killing people, basically. And so, yeah, sure, you might have an empire of wealth, but deep down you are rotting. Man, I've gone on a freaking tangent and a half. It's a miracle you boys are listening. That tells me there's a couple of lads in here that really resonate with some of these thoughts. I've given my voice box a workout today. Usually all of this stuff happens in my mind, but today I've voiced them all out. All of these thoughts. And fellas, the phone is down to 5%. I think I've squeezed all the juice out of this workout. I think it's better if I get out of here. Sam, appreciate it, man. I haven't done too much of reading, and it's just been a monologue, really. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Cricket. Appreciate you guys, man. Like it means a lot that, you know, there's fellas in here that resonate. Mike, champion, pleasure to hear that. Lemon, Velko, thank you guys. Sam, appreciate you guys. Thank you, Greg. Respect, Sam. Yeah, let's all get it, man. I love you guys. Really, it's really nice after all of that to hear this. Oh, Habib, appreciate you, man. I love that. Doug, you guys are champs, man. Same time, same place tomorrow. Maybe. I'll have to see what the fam is going on, but we'll definitely do another live at some point tomorrow. There's 32 blokes here that feel the same way. This is awesome. Champions. This is what this is about. Positivity and uplifting others and trying to send people in the right path. Legends. Appreciate you guys. Peace out.